Okay, so going back to your copper links and hammering them out and filing and all that stuff, I'm going back to this metal cabinet, where, like I said, I have things located. You're going to want to grab a flat file from there, and you're going to want to file down your copper ends. So this is not going to be a good solder because you have this kind of flattened end from when I cut it with the clipper. So you want it to be a nice flush end, not a pinched end. And it just takes a little bit of filing to get that to happen. No big deal. Okay, so now if I line these up, they're coming together at a nice tight join. Okay, so if you have to file it down a little bit more to make it perfect, you can do that. I'm going to use the pliers to line it up so it's perfectly matching to make sure. That's always a good idea too. And then you're going to hammer. Remember I said you can use a chasing hammer and the block. Both of those are kept in this drawer. Hammer it flat. Okay, so one thing that you're going to do is when you start to, what I wanted to show you is these are the pieces that I have already soldered. And after you quench it and cool it, then remember it brings back the metal to its regular properties, which means that it can be very flexible, which is part of the annealing process. So we heated it, quenched it, cooled it, and it makes it soft again. But I don't want this to be soft. I want it to be hard. So I'm going to go back in and hammer that. And kind of rotate it to make sure you get and hammer everything. Now I could probably hammer that more. Sometimes when you're hammering, if one of your seams was to fall apart, it's because you maybe didn't join it very well in, when you were soldering. You can always go back in and resolder that. But the best way to ensure that is to make sure that this is going to butt up against one another. Also, if you hammer it, you might notice that it's not really lining up like you want it to. You can easily go back in, kind of separate that jump ring out again. Once again, get a little file. And doesn't have to be a large file. You can obviously use a needle nose file too. File that down. Sometimes after hammering, it can move your metal around. So now I see that that's probably a better join, and I would go back and resolder that. So then if I was to wear this as a bracelet or a necklace, I rehammered my metal, making it sturdy. I would obviously clean this up and sand it and buff it as well.